Hi everybody, so today I'm going to go over what happened to me in April. So I'm going to start out by talking about things I learned during that month, which for this month is a lot. And then I'm going to talk about the highlights of this month and the not so good things from this month. So here we go. Oh God. Thank God I learned something because I had to go through some crap to get to where I am now. So the biggest thing that I learned in April, which you probably don't think that I didn't already know, but I'm here to tell you I did, is I care too much about what other people, I put too much weight into what other people say. Not necessarily about me, like my appearance or like my plans for life, though a little bit, but when it comes to where I was choosing to live, I realized that I really was taking into consideration this idea of what it is to be a digital nomad instead of actually thinking about what I needed. What I really wanted after living in a city that was super hot and to me kind of just felt chaotic. I'll later explain why it felt chaotic. I really wanted a beach environment. I wanted to feel like I wanted to be by the ocean, and I wanted the ocean to suck up, all my anxiety, basically. So I really wanted to go to Koh Phangan, but financially I was worried because I've been losing a lot of clients. So I decided to go to Da Nang because I knew people going there, and that was a very good reason for going. I was kind of going off this idea that, I should be responsible and I should do what my other digital nomad friends are doing and go to this cheap place and, keep doing this slow travel thing. What I realized is that totally doesn't work for me at all. Because the whole idea is that if you're going to do slow travel, you need to be in a routine, you need to feel comfortable so that you could really focus on the things you want to do. And for me, I never felt comfortable. So creatively, I did not really flourish very much. And concentration was also difficult as well. So one of the things that I really learned was that if I'm going to make decisions about what is going to happen with my future, and where I'm going to travel to and where I'm going to base myself, it's going to be totally up to me. I cannot listen to outside noise. This is also why Chiang Mai was really stressful for me. I later realized that it was all these people coming here with all these ambitions and ideas being thrown at me, and I was kind of sucking it all up, and it was kind of getting in the way of what I had planned for myself before I left for Chiang Mai. I never realized how heavily influenced I was by other people. Let me tell you, this realization is going to help me for the rest of my life. And if I had to go through some crap to get here, that's fine, because I grew 1,000,000 times in this month, and I'm really happy about that. The other thing that I realized is that I don't want to be positive when I don't feel positive. I found myself in some situations where I just mentally was not in it to win it. I was pretty sad, or I was really grumpy from lack of sleep. And sometimes I would meet up with groups of people or be with a friend, and I felt the need to be positive. I feel because of positive thinking has become such a huge influence on our culture, I now feel ashamed to share those negative feelings that I have and to kind of I'm not always, but sometimes, especially if you don't know somebody super well, I don't feel comfortable talking about stuff that bothers me because I don't want them to think that I'm like a negative person. And it's like, oh God, a negative person. Dear God, I'm gonna die if I'm near her. It just feels like you're monitoring yourself. It feels like it's almost like the Communist Party is watching you or something. I don't like it. I don't want to deal with that anymore. And if you feel this way and you're listening to this and going, oh my God, yes, then we can talk about that because I know I'm not alone here. Let's talk about the highlights now. So when you think of Vietnam, you might as well rename the Adidas song to All Day Long I Dream About Coffee, because the coffee there is so delicious and so cheap. They have this thing called coconut coffee. Basically, they take coconut sorbet and they pour shots of espresso into it. It costs something like 80 cents or something, or maybe $1.
Introduce you to vegan avocado. Yes, this is happening.
I could not get enough of the coffee there. It was amazing. I wanted to drink it all the time. The other thing that was worth mention is the food. The food in Vietnam was so different than in Thailand. And it was food that it's not easy to get in the US or anywhere else, I think, than Vietnam itself. There were 20 or so vegan restaurants just in downtown Da Nang, all of which were really very decent. Needless to say, I took motorbikes into the city to get lunch pretty frequently. The motorbike ride would cost me $1, and then I would, less than $1 actually, and then I would eat my $1 meal, and then I would go back for $1. So in total, I'd spend less than $5. The other thing that was nice is that I was living in Da Nang, which was right near Hoi An, which has even more vegan food, but it's really a walkable city, and it's really like very nice to look at. And it was easy to get there for very cheap. I could just take a bus and get there in 30 minutes. Likewise, had I had more time, I would have had many opportunities to go to some other places as well. One of the best things about this month was that I got to meet Gabby and Adam. I've been talking to Adam for a really long time on social media. He actually helped me a lot when I was trying to make decisions on where to go. He wisely said to me that I should just pick a place based on what I was feeling when I was trying to decide between Koh Phangan, Bali, and Da Nang. And I was like, yeah, he's like, one door, just because you make a decision doesn't mean you close the door on all the other ones. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I didn't listen to him. So the next thing I have to mention is my birthday. I've never had my birthday in a place this beautiful before, and this warm. So I pretty much had the perfect day. Adam and Gabby organized for us to get bikes. So we rode out to the Son Tran Peninsula and saw some beautiful views. We went looking for monkeys, we didn't find them, but I was so happy I didn't care. We went to one of my favorite restaurants for lunch, and then I had a great dinner party and wine party. And then that was followed up lastly by, sitting on the beach really late at night. So it was a really perfect birthday. The other thing that is important is that I didn't necessarily go to Koh Phangan, but I got a beach. I stayed near the beach in Da Nang, and it was beautiful. And I went swimming, and the water was so clear. But one of my favorite things to do was to go walking on the beach at night. On one night in particular, the light was shining from the big hotels, was going through the water, which was so clean you could see it. And people were swimming, and it was just like, it looked like they were swimming in glass. It was so gorgeous. And I just felt so grateful to be there. Another thing that was really great is the Lady Buddha. That was one of the attractions that we visited. But I could only see her from the shore. And I kind of started talking to her as if she was like my mentor or something. And like she was watching out for me. And I started like praying to her and stuff. And I know that's silly, but I just felt really good about it. I was very lucky. I had a super nice landlord. Not only did he address any concern I ever had, he also, right at the end of my visit, drove me to the best currency exchange place in town so that I could get a good exchange rate on Korean won. I think one of the things that is really awesome and that you don't expect when you come to a city like Da Nang is that the locals actually want to talk to you. People would say hello to me all the time, and were really, 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 really friendly.
Baby, are you a baby? Yes, you are. Yeah, you are, baby. Yeah.
I got a video.
Are you babies? Are you babies? Yes, we are. We're babies.
Nope.
Hello, Turtle. Are you cute? Yes, you are. Look at that beautiful little face. Pappy, are you the cutest? Oh.
Let's just talk about the bad things quickly, because it's easy for you to understand why they were bad. Construction everywhere. The first few days I was in Da Nang, I was horrified. I was taken to so many different apartments, and people would act like the fact that there was a man drilling outside of that window and there was another one laying bricks outside of that one was totally normal. And to me, that was like, are you kidding? I am an online teacher and I make YouTube videos. Do you really think I can do this? The other thing that was not so great was that although I had had a pretty quiet room after searching for a while, The day after my birthday, where I had stayed up till 3 in the morning on the beach with friends after that beautiful day of activity. The next day at 7 a.m., construction began next to my room. And that just continued for weeks. And I started becoming a really unpleasant person to be around because I was finishing work really late at night and not able to go to sleep right away, but getting woken up at 7. So that sucked. I think the biggest problem I have with Vietnam is that it's noisy as hell. Like, there's unnecessary noise everywhere. I've been traveling now for 4 years, and this experience in Vietnam has really helped me figure out what kind of places that I want to spend a long time in, what kind of places that I want to go to. And more than anything, honestly, it's made me realize that I don't need to travel all the time because it's very exhausting. And I think that I would prefer to spend time in the places that I'm really invested in rather than continually putting myself in new places just for the fun of it. I don't have anything I need to prove to anybody. I don't have to travel all the time to be an interesting person. So I'm not going to that much unless I really want to. So yeah, that's what I learned this past month, and that is my April update video. Sorry if it was long. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I look forward to talking to you soon.